Hello, welcome to High Ray Productions, where we like to chat while watching speed draws made by yours truly. I am your host, High Ray.
And I'm here as more support. Roll for initiative, because we're about to talk about D&D.
D&D! Dungeons and Dragons for those uninitiated.
Or how they like to make their homebrewers say, the world's greatest role-playing game. Because they're so humble.
It's so hard being humble.
Anyway, so today we're actually going to be doing our first ever original character of High Rays.
If you could call it that.
I do.
It's closer on the spectrum than the has-been hotel portraits I've been drawing. So far, we have been just straight up drawing characters that are not mine. This one is mine. It belongs to a universe that is not mine, but it's mine. Its character is mine.
Okay, enough talking like a seagull from Finding Nemo. We'll start the video.
Okay, yep, on with the video.
All right, so as usual, to help us get through these videos, I have prepared some questions for High Ray. First off, for someone who doesn't know anything about D&D, how would you describe the game to them? Or more like, what is D&D to you?
It's like playing pretend with rules. I think I've heard some people describing it that way. A video game, but on pen and paper. It's basically Baldur's Gate, but not on a computer.
Yes, it's BG3, but if the person who was running it wasn't an AI, but a bumbling human being who is allowed to make mistakes and you can't get on their fucking case because of, I mean, not projecting, no.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been asked to describe it before, and I don't always know how to.
It's fair. It is a lot to it, not just D&D, but tabletop games in general. But now that we have some more details on the design, why don't you tell us about your character?
Well, this is May Brancy. She is a magi from the desert southern region in the campaign we're playing. And she came to a magic school for a variety of reasons. Partly because there's a bit of a crisis that she's trying to deal with. Actually, mainly because there's a crisis that she's trying to deal with. She is definitely the kind of bookish, scholarly type. The books over friends type. Basically, if you know My Little Pony, think Twilight Sparkle. At least in the earlier seasons.
Yes, well, with May being this owl lady, she is actually an owlin. Great naming sense, obviously.
Very creative.
It's kind of ironic, actually, now that I think about it. You made, in our group, the one character that's the most suited for a magic school for a multitude of reasons. One, they're a wizard.
Yep.
But also, two, that the owlins were actually introduced in the D&D official book of Strixhaven.
Which is a magic school.
Yeah, it's a magic school. And I actually pre-ordered it when I first saw it was coming out, and I was super excited, and well, the lore is very good. I like I like some of the monster stat blocks, all this usual stuff, and it even has some stuff for relationship mechanics. But it really was more about events like single events that happening during a year in the school, and you guys dealing with that event rather than actually doing the school stuff. It had like simple mechanics for the finals, but aside from that, the book was very sparse when it came to actual magic school stuff. Like, they didn't really have stuff for going to classes. They didn't have like, oh, this is kind of things you can do during the extracurriculars, or like, oh, if you're gonna be in the performing arts club, like, here are events for the performing arts. Here's some plays you can do if you want to play in those, or something like that. It was really...
He wanted more school stuff. It's probably written by people who slept through class.
Whoa. I mean, like, I've had fun. It's fun to make fun of WotC, but I don't want to diss her. I don't want to go that hard. Dang. Because I slept through class. I don't want to call myself out.
Or at least people who found class really boring and were like, you know what, let's cut this.
I mean, that's valid. That's valid. But there's more to school than that. There's more to the school experience, and I would expect more for a magic school to have more interesting stuff. Which is why when we started our campaign of Mage Hollow, which is a magic school in a forest, I started to make mechanics of my own for like going to class and what you do there, stuff you can get out of extracurriculars and quests, and just like even stuff you can get out of like overdoing it during a week or taking a break.
Yes, you can burn yourself out. Very realistic.
Yes, but I want to get back more into May here because, as I already stated, this is your first, I consider, original character that we have presented on the channel. I'm very curious, like past the initial idea stage, what is your process for making a character?
I do a lot of obsessive Googling ahead of time. And I will save images that I feel I want to borrow from. Like for her, barn owls, looking at pictures of star circlets, which I don't think I perfectly ripped off. It's pretty close to something, to one of my references. If I can find it again, I will put it in. It's basically just finding the elements that I don't already have a really clear picture of in my head, or that I want to emulate from somewhere else. And once I've rounded those up, I get right into sketching and just kind of feel it out.
Rolling with it. What's the like design process? You're just doing like do you do multiple thumbnail sketches? Like what is those physical steps after the research?
If I'm really struggling, I will do thumbnails, but for the most part, I just get in there. You guys might notice it that sometimes I rearrange things in the sketch phase. That's mostly where I'm doing a lot of the design process. And I usually have an idea of what I want down because I will be thinking about it for weeks or even months before I ever put my stylus to my screen.
And what about the color palette?
The color palette I think of long ahead of time. I actually have a website that I use that I basically type in words. It won't always have something come up, but colors with that word in the name will pop up. Like if I type in night or leather or metal or silver.
Interesting. I've never heard of this.
I might have to show you it. Fair warning though, my laptop heats up to the surface of the sun when I visit this site, so.
Oh dear.
Although it might also be because I'll open up like 30 pages of it at once.
Nah, can't be.
I especially like it for finding like for basic material colors. Again, like different types of metals and leather and gemstones.
Okay, one more thing. Because I've noticed that May is quite tall and lanky, which if you look at pictures of people showing of Owlin, they're usually more owl-ish.
They're short and fluffy.
Yeah. Or medium, but still fluffy. Why'd you go for this kind of design?
Mostly because I don't feel like the short and fluffy fits the kind of aesthetic I'm going for. I was definitely kind of going for that very sleek and elegant. A little bit more towards somewhere between medieval maiden and angel.
Ooh.
Just with an owl-like face and claws. And under her dress, she has owl feet, but her dress is all the way to the floor. So.
But not for free. I'm sorry.
No feet pics for free.
I can't believe I made the joke. No.
Yeah, May does not give feet pics for free.
We didn't need to say it again. I did it.
Sorry.
It's my fault. I get it.
You
I
started
get
it.
Well, here's May.
Yeah, here's May.
Jeez. Well, I think that's a good start to our D&D talks. I can't wait for our next one because this would be, you are not alone in this obsession. I think it is very obvious based on how much knowledge I gave out that this is a shared obsession of both me and Hi-Ray.
Oh, yes. Maybe different aspects, but definitely same world. Same thing.
And I can't wait to talk about it more in the next video.
Yep. So, thank you for joining us and listening to us rambling on. Love you for that. Please, if you'd be so kind as to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.